So welcome along to Coffee Chat and maybe a rant and rave. This is totally unscripted. This is me sitting down on my sofa in my studio or where I make my YouTube videos. In 2 weeks' time, I will be back in Thailand for a small vacation, just going to be hanging out with some of my friends of mine, having a beer or two and catching up on some shopping. So looking forward to that kind of break. And what's been happening? Well, quite recently, I've been actually watching Jack Ryan, the series, which you can actually find on Amazon. And it's actually really good. It must have cost a multi-million dollars to make because they go to so many different locations. Some of it's not exactly correct, but hey, it's just fictional. But it's quite good fun to see a series about the CIA and the internal workings of it. Again, even though it's fictional. What I've been watching on YouTube quite recently is a guy from the United Kingdom who bought a £120,000 Porsche Taycan, the electric Porsche, and he is called the Mac Master. He's quite a funny guy. I would say he's in his late 40s, for example, and he's had this Porsche electric vehicle for about 2 years, and the car is actually fine, and he would criticize just the charging stations and say how ridiculous it is. And quite simply, charging is too slow, the chargers don't work, so you have to go to a different one, and maybe you have to wait for a couple of hours for a charger is free, and how much the tires would cost on one particular car of an EV. One local mechanic said they were £250, which is like $300 each. I could say something like that, so £1,000 to exchange 4 tires. And some of these electric vehicles, he was saying, I can't quote this because I don't own an electric vehicle, or I just have a couple of motorbikes here, normal gas guzzling ones, and he would say that the mechanic who was changing these tires was saying this EV was only a year old. Now, basically, I don't know how many kilometers or miles it actually drove, but it's quite shocking that in 1 year you would have to change the tires, and they're not cheap. I don't know if they're any different to any other car, to be really honest with you. And I think the last time I changed tires, I think they cost maybe like $70 or $80 each, and I did change 4, but that was a long time ago, and obviously prices go up. So he's the Mac Master, and he does say that these EVs are absolutely useless, and he regrets actually buying this electric vehicle, but he's got sort of no choice, etc., etc. And it's quite interesting that he would get lots of criticism from the EV evangelists, as he calls them, which is quite a good word, who are people who absolutely love electronic vehicles and they think it's the way forward. And he's just brutally honest about his car. And I enjoy watching him because it's not edited, he's not sponsored by a big oil company, he's just doing his experience. And some people would say he's right, some people would say he's wrong. I would agree with a lot of him because it makes sense. And again, EVs have got a long way to go before you could say anyone would, more people would consider to buy one, and they're more expensive. I think the only way that you would buy an EV would be, one, they're cheaper than a motorized vehicle, internal combustion engine, for example. The charging is a lot quicker. The charging at the battery is safer. The charging, if you're on a long journey, is cheaper. The batteries are smaller, and it's a benefit for you. At the moment, I think driving an EV car is sort of like, well, no, it's just annoying. Possibly if you're just going to use it for around town and you can always charge it at night time, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. You can charge it at home. Obviously your electricity bill would go up, but you would have a 0 petrol bill. But if you're doing it for long distances, I would say no, not at the moment, even though the government is really pushing it forward. But again, we repeat, what cars do the government drive? Yeah. So the Prime Minister of England would be in a Jaguar. In America, he would be, the President of America would be driving a Beast. They are not electric. They are powered by gasoline. What else? What else has been happening? Been making some videos more recently about Thailand. Again, go and check out the links in the description. One thing I did mention in my video yesterday, or whenever this is going to be published, about 69% of my viewers haven't been subscribed. So please do, if you are watching this, if you got this far into 5 minutes of the video, do hit the subscribe button. If you want to, give it a thumbs up, and please do share this with your friends and family if you want to, and then hit the notification button. That's the advertising bit done. Apart from if you do want to help me or support my work financially, all the links are in the link below, with super thanks, Patreon, and becoming a member. Now, this is an unedited video. It's meant to be coffee chat, but I actually finished my coffee. I only have a glass of water over there. Anything else I'm looking forward to on Apple TV? There's one show that I really do like. Maybe it's because it's British and I am British, called Slow Horses. This is about the dogs who work for MI5 or MI6 in the United Kingdom. And one part of this is called Slough House, and these are like the dregs of the Secret Service. They do all this sort of like boring, dirty work, which you could say the James Bond spies wouldn't do. It's really good. That's on Apple TV. On Netflix, I haven't been watching Netflix for a while because I've been watching the Jack Ryan series on Amazon. What I hope to see this year on Netflix would be Mission Impossible, the last one that came out. Was it last year or the year before? Love to see that, and would love to see Top Gun 2 or Top Gun Maverick, which came out like near enough a year and a half ago. Like to see that on Netflix, and eventually it will. With movies, I haven't been to the cinema since 2017, I do believe. Don't think it's a necessity. I can be patient. I pay $10 a month for Netflix, and with that, it's usually some movie you can watch. I've actually deleted all my Christmas movies. The thing with Christmas movies is it always makes you sort of like have a little tear at the end. And it's great to watch it and all the happiness and sort of the fun story, and some remakes like in 2022, on Apple TV, they did Spirited, which was a brilliant musical. I love that. That was such good fun to watch. And they did make a good movie for Christmas time last year as well. And even though Apple is quite expensive, I think it's worth its weight in gold. You can get a package on Apple, which I have. I think it's like $11 per month, which is Apple TV, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, and 50 GB of iCloud, which is okay. Amazon in this country, I think it's $6.99, and there's a lot of old movies there. So I watched some old James Bond movie like The Spy Who Loved Me, or movies from the Pink Panther that I haven't seen for years. It's just a chuckle there. And Netflix, I think it's $9.99. That's the full version, so it comes in Dolby Atmos and in 4K. And my TV downstairs is 4K. I do have the speaker system for the Dolby Atmos, and it's really good. So I think that's quite good value for money. I don't actually have regular TV. I don't have cable television here. I don't watch TV that much. Here in my studio, I do have another TV, but it's just a HD TV with a very old Apple TV there. And quite often I watch YouTube videos there. What else do I watch on YouTube? I do watch the Chinese or the Western Chinese influencers who would say China is good and America is bad. I very rarely agree with any of these people, and it's actually quite fun to find when they do make a mistake with this through common knowledge. Like one guy would say that America invaded South Korea. It wasn't North Korea invading South Korea, for example. They would say that China has never invaded another country before, apart from Vietnam. But what about Tibet? What about parts of India? What about Mongolia? And again, coming into Vietnam. And it actually sort of makes me laugh. Some of the conspiracy theorists, the tin foil crazy guys, there's one in America called Danny Haifong, you may watch him, and he would always criticize the West. Naturally, if it's like the normal thing that everyone thinks, that, for example, Palestine invaded Israel on October the 7th. Yes, they did. It was a really bad decision and I couldn't get it, why they did this, because they know the Israeli retaliation is not going to be weak. Whoever decided this idea, well, whatever happens with that. But at first he would say, oh, bad Palestine. And then bam, the next day, suddenly he changed it to bad Israel for retaliation. But here's my point of view. If Canada invaded America, just for example, would America just sit still and do nothing? The answer to that is obviously no, it's not. So that's the kind of situation. I don't really care about the past, just what happened there. But these people, again, another one is Brian Biletic, another one is in China. They would always go with you could say, the China side, the Russia side, the ISIS side, and never go for like the Western side, because they think the Western world is trying to control the world. Well, America is the most powerful country in the world, and yeah, they do have a lot of military bases. Why? I would say mainly it's to keep the peace. They would deny all of that and say it's manipulation of the world. But that's another story entirely. What other things do I watch? I do like to watch on YouTube the flight review experts. One is called Noel Phillips. He's an English guy who lives in Houston in Texas. Another one is called Josh Cahill. And basically they fly around the world, sometimes on business, sometimes on first, sometimes in economy, and they give their honest review, which is fantastic. Josh actually got banned from Qatar Air quite recently for doing a bad review. Now, I remember Qatar Air when they were just starting up, and I used to, in the old days, fly economy, and they were awful, to be honest with you, compared to Cathay Pacific. And I always thought, well, Qatar Air, well, we're getting there. They did improve, and quite often I did go business, and twice I've been first class with them. No, I didn't have to pay for the ticket, it was the company. And with that, it was amazing. But now, sorry, I'm getting messages in, but now they're like really expensive. And I do remember Qatar Air during the Icelandic volcano eruption in 2010. I was stuck in Qatar. Now, I was going business class to the United Kingdom at that time, and they put me in a 5-star hotel within there because I couldn't travel to London because of the volcanic ash. Then I found out later that every single Qatar flight, every passenger who got stuck was accommodated. They lost billions of dollars, but they gained lots of customers. But now their prices have gone up, and I think they've gone a little bit upper class. I think they need to go back to basics with Qatar, and I agree with Josh. Once in a while, I do make an air review, but possibly I did one on Gulf Air when, unfortunately, my mother passed away in end of October last year, and I did do a review of Gulf Air, how it's there. And luckily, I managed to get a business class ticket. I was upgraded because of the situation. I just told the airline, and once in a while I would do it, but I'm no expert. But because of my work before, I did fly quite a lot around the world, and you would say in the last period, most of the time it was business, and once in a blue moon, you could upgrade your points to first. So my favorite airline used to be Qatar, but I love Singapore Air, I love Cathay Pacific. The Malaysian Airlines, yep. I flew with them about 5 years ago to the UK. That was my mum's 80th birthday. and that was actually a really good flight. But I do like Gulf Air, and I do like the business class in Gulf Air because of the seat. Yeah, it's there's a partition, there's a 6 in one width on a Boeing 787, and the TV's not the best, the food's quite good, just the leg space is really nice, and the bed was like really soft, and the toilet, they have Japanese toilets, which is really nice. So when you do go for a number 2, you just get well, you can, if you want to, you can have some water up your backside. Ha ha ha. Now, this video has run for about 15 minutes. If anyone's still watching, it's time for the rainbow. If you can't find the rainbow icon, then just type in rainbow. If anyone's still here at this time of my rant and rave. Yes, I am gasping for a cup of coffee. I will possibly have one in another 40 minutes or 50 minutes time. So they're the things I watch on YouTube. Is there anything else that I look forward to? There is a program here in Siem Reap called For Real. It's for, F-O-R, like the word for, and Real is R-I-E-L. They're quite good. They are an Australian couple who do their video, basically their YouTube channel for charity, and they would do weekly news of what's happening. The last one, if anyone here in Siem Reap or Cambodia is listening, is the controversy about the parking at the new airport. Now, there were lots of stories going round, and this couple did get it right. If you want to if you want to get into the airport, it's something like $3. If it's a car, I think it's $7. I don't know whether that includes parking or not, but most of the time when you're going to go to the airport, you're going to be just dropped off at the BAM. And if you don't want to pay any extra, you can just, well, wait outside where it's free of charge, and then your tuk-tuk driver or your taxi driver is there for you. Then as soon as you're there, you can't walk, it's just too far. It's about 800 kilometers from the terminal to the actual security gate of the parking in 32 degrees, no way after a long flight. So it's a little bit of a scam. Don't really agree with it. The parking in the older airport before was something like $1 for 1 hour. Now, in this country, you would say, wow, that is so cheap compared to Heathrow or JFK, whatever. But it is quite expensive here just for parking your car, because other places around the city, well, parking is sort of like free, which is great. It's like you can just stop your motorbike, get off, you can get out of your car near enough anywhere. There's no real yellow lines. Once in a blue moon, you would see the tow truck come around, but I haven't seen that for ages. Parking is ample on normal days, and it's all free of charge. There are some underground car parks where you would have to pay. For a motorbike, I think the last time I went there was 25 cents for 1 hour, which is, if you can afford the motorbike, I think you can afford the actual 25 cents per hour. Anything else happening? Oh, for 2024, what are the plans? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I do want to I was thinking of getting the new Apple Watch. I was thinking about it. Then I realized through one program it's the Apple Watch 10 or the Apple Watch X this year. So it's a brand new design. So I think I'm going to hold off until September when they're released, and maybe in this country, in Cambodia, I can get the Apple Watch 10 in November. I like this. This is really old. This is like 5 or 6 years old. It still works. Now, what I did with this, I put in a new cover. Where is it here? It's a magnetic cover, like that. And I put a cover over this because I didn't have it for 3 years, and it sort of got a little bit worn and scratched. So I put this in. They're not very expensive, and I put a plastic film over the top as well. So it gives it a bit of extra protection. So with the next generation of Apple Watches, then I will do exactly the same as this, and it sort of like looks after it. It's the same. Maybe this year I will get the Apple iPhone 15 Pro. I do have the 13 Pro Max, but I just find it too heavy. I find it too big. The camera is very good, the battery is very good, but I just want the smaller size for it. I'm actually recording this on my iPhone, which I use on a daily basis, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and the camera is really good. It's all operating in 4K, hopefully, when you see this. So that's what's been happening. What's some plans I want to do? Will it happen? Yes. Will it happen? No. Do I really care? No. Now, my trip to Thailand is in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to Pattaya. Will take my video camera with me. My video camera, this, if you want to see it, this is the thing I take, and it's really useful because I can take this bit off here, and I can just put this is a magnet on behind here, because a magnetic chain, and I go bam, and there's the video. So it's sort of less intrusive than putting a camera right in someone's face near enough. And I will be going there. If you want me to do anything related to Pattaya that you're interested in, of course, no, I can't say that. So just drop me a line in the comment section below. This video has been running for just 21 minutes now. So if anyone's got here, what can we have? Just put in a heart like that. Okay, but let's leave it there for today. Again, I will do the kindly reminder to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and anyone who wants to support what I rabbit on about for 20 odd minutes, the link is in the description below. God bless to all. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon for another coffee chat or rant and rage, or just telling you about my life, however you want to call it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, well, give it a thumbs down. Let's be honest, and that's what we should have in the world. Honesty is the best policy. Tell that to politicians, though. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.